What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am your average Redditor, and today we're going to be looking for the first time at r/IDontWorkHereLady. Before we get into the video, subscribe with notifications on for daily Reddit content. Right, let's get into these crazy Reddit stories. I don't work here, nobody does. This is a vending machine. This happened earlier today, and I'm still trying to figure out why it happened. I think we've all been at the point where we had to rock the machine to get our chips. A certain computer lab has one across the street, and if you want snacks, you gotta bring someone with you. It's heavier than a normal machine. The freshmen have to be introduced to the machine in order to not get screwed by it by accident. Just know that this monster isn't part of the school. It's actually in front of a closed down store. Onto the story. I was walking to the lab and saw a whale in high heels screaming at the machine. I looked at the situation and a payday was just barely hanging on the old hook. I just kicked it lightly and it fell down. She thanked me and angrily said, "Get the manager! This machine shouldn't be here. It should be illegal." I looked at the very dirty store and said, "I don't think the manager is available." "Don't be lazy. This is your job. I'm going to report you." I didn't even argue. I gestured towards the glass door and she huffed and bumped against it. "And the door is broken too. What kind of business is this?" "Mom, I think you should read the sign." She looked at the sign and it read, "Closing on May 10th, 1998 due to storm damages. We will not be reopening." That's before I was born. "If you're interested in buying the property, call this number." I walked across the street to the lab and she yelled out, not angry but legitimately confused, "Well, why do they refill the machines then?" I shrugged. The other nerds asked themselves the same question. According to the others, she just stared at the machine for 20 minutes before waddling away. I kind of understand where the woman's coming from, but the store was obviously closed down. Imagine thinking that there was an actual manager for a vending machine. Yeah, sorry, we are not prostitutes. This is a story that still makes me and my friends laugh to this day, so why not share? First of all, prostitution is legal in my country. So legal even, it is an officially recognised profession with locally set prices for the services. They even pay taxes. Usually this is done in specific and certified clubs or across the street where prostitutes can rent a small room to work. It is a cheaper copy of Amsterdam's red light district, but the same concept. Aside from that, I live in a country where people are often pretty blunt and straightforward, so events like these are far from rare. I was with some friends for a ladies' afternoon of shopping. It was August and bloody hot, so we parked the car and went towards the city centre, dressed for the weather. Now, in my town we have trashy city planners, and this red light district is literally one of 2 streets leading into the city centre when you decide to park in the parking lot bordering the city centre. But luckily, we were there at the early afternoon hours, so there was hardly any business and thus hardly any excited men. Unfortunately, hardly any is still some, which was my error in judgment that I will never make again. This was also the time that some of the more ambitious service ladies would start working, and thus the already drunk men came for some window shopping. One of those men started talking with my friend. The man looked in his 80s, smelled as if he had been drinking beer non-stop since 1978 and probably had started pooing his pants at around the same time. How no one puked in the first 10 milliseconds is still the greatest mystery today.
"Hey, when do you start working?"
"Excuse me?
"When do you start working? And which window? I want you."
I am not a prostitute."
"You look like one."
"I do not."
"Only hookers wear those clothes, so you have to be."
Mind that it is like 35 to 40 degrees outside, which is like 100 Fahrenheit. So yes, we do prefer to show some skin over thick winter coats in order to not die. Well, she isn't. Please walk on, sir. I put a hand on my friend's shoulder, who seemed to be stuck on whether to laugh, cry, or run. We walk off again, but this guy is persistent and stumbles in front of us. Man, to me.
"How about you then? Do you want my money?"
"I don't work here."
"Yes, you do. You got hooker boobs."
Good to know.
"I will give you 50 euros.
You can give me money anytime, but I don't want to do anything in return for it.
You can just lay down and I will make you feel good. You don't have to do anything."
We laugh and walk on, but this man is persistent, a desperate level of persistent. So desperate he actually talks to a third one of our shopping crew.
"How about you? You look good. I'll give you 60 euros.
"That is my sister. She is 14, so get lost before I call security." Yes, there is actual security there too, which is also the reason that we don't make him walk out with a stiletto heel sticking out of his skull. Man raises an empty bottle of beer.
"A hole is a hole."
"Get lost before I shove my boot in your hole."
"But she looks like she works here."
He tries to grab the girl's breasts, but her sister pulls her away. "What the hell do you think you're doing?"
"Inspecting the goods. She doesn't mind, I pay."
At this time, another friend was already gesturing for the security guard to come over. We explained the situation, after which the man was escorted away. I am not sure what happened to him. So yeah, that was how we learned to just take the longer way when going on future shopping trips. Sorry mister, for dressing too skimpy for your mind to keep functioning, and understand that we did so to fight off the dreadful heat. Regardless, trying to touch underage girls is not cool, even if you are drunk. Some advice to take from this: be at least semi-sober, stick to adults, and shower. Works wonders. I mean, if you tick off those 3 things, I think you're doing pretty well, so fair enough. Mom, our staff don't wear bow ties. So this goes back a few weeks back. I was working in a men's clothing store in a shopping centre. I was wearing leather shoes, black trousers, white shirt, and a black bow tie. After my shift, I run down to the supermarket to grab a few things, listening to my music with my headphones. Walking down an aisle with a shopping basket in hand, I hear someone yelling over the top of my music. I feel someone tap my shoulder. I turn to a woman, W, yelling at me. I take my headphones off and she yells in my face. "Hi mate, I asked you a question. Why are you listening to music while working? Where are the soups? Where's your manager?" I was in disbelief at first. I wasn't sure what was going on. The supermarket I was in was a huge chain in Australia and all the staff wore red shirts. Definitely not bow ties. I don't work here? Lies! This will only make matters worse. Do you want me to get your manager? I had time and wanted her to embarrass herself. So I said, okay, go and get my manager. I'll be right here. The woman turns around and walks off. I thought there was no way. As I was looking for stuff in the aisle, sure enough, she walks up to me laughing with the manager, who mind you is wearing a red shirt, no tie or anything. "Here he is." Manager looks at me and smiles and just says, "Ma'am, our staff don't wear bow ties." I burst out laughing. The woman's face looked like it was about to catch fire. It was so red and she just yells, "You two are jokers. This is going to the top. This isn't over." She turned around and walked away without her trolley full of groceries. The manager and I were just standing there in disbelief yet again. I just hope she found some soup elsewhere. I love how she's so embarrassed that she can't even admit that she was wrong. She just says, "This is going to the top. This isn't over." Yeah, too right, Karen. This is definitely going to the top. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the video on r/IDontWorkHereLady. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, share, and subscribe for more daily Reddit content.